Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming with more Hearts of Iron 4 La Résistance, playing as France, going down the monarchist path as soon as we can. And of course a big thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring today's video. La Résistance should be releasing tomorrow, so if you want to take a look at the link in the description down below, you can pick it up for yourself. So, let's see, the Spanish Civil War has already broken out. We've covered the different national focus trees of Portugal, France, and Spain. Lots of fun things going on there. Once I have a few... Oh, Spain wants aid. No, I'm not going to give you any political power. Sorry. Much as I... Oh, no, I can't even... I do not want to get communism. That'd be terrible. Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. Once I feel more comfortable with the number of civilian factories we have available, I will create an agency and show that off for you guys. For now, I just beg a little bit more patience as I try to build up my economy. So we're just going to keep playing at speed 5 for a little bit longer, long as I can. We are getting 0.36 political power per day, which is pretty darn awful, I'm not going to lie, but I'm trying, dang it. I am trying. The only question is, do we want to go away from the civilian economy and try to go for things like partial mobilization? Maybe. I mean, if I got into a war with Germany pretty early on, it would be very good to go for the war economy right off the bat. Don't think that's going to happen, because my only hope is that we can prevent the Germans from attacking me too early on. So, I don't know. We'll kind of see. We'll see what happens. I am about to, however, get up to 150 political power, which means I can go for the silent workhorse and increase it by 15%, which basically means I'm getting 0.67 per day. I've almost doubled what little I'm getting. Doesn't sound like a lot, because it's not, but I mean, every little bit helps at this point. I'm at a huge disadvantage as France. The faster I can fix this disjointed government, the better. Absolutely. How are we doing on the construction of civilian factories? We're doing pretty good. I could probably justify going for a couple more, but not much more than this, I think. Now, once we finish developing the metropole, I'm not going to worry about the investments quite yet. Ooh, hello. I am instead going to go for the agricultural protectionism, just so we can get a little bit more benefit from 7.5% civilian factory construction speed. The alternative would be to go for laissez-faire, which would give me 150% research speed 3 times in industry, which is nice. But this stuff's good because it does lead to economic devolution, which gives me a little bit more factory output. It doesn't solve the inefficient economy, but it does improve it by 10%. We can also promote entrepreneurs, which gives me military factory construction speed, which I like a lot. The Freedom Front is terrible. We don't want to do that because it makes the fascists more powerful. Protect the rights of man is stability. And then all the way at the bottom down here, stimulate the dynamic market, which gives me industrial research speed, production efficiency cap, and production efficiency growth for the rest of the game. This is very, very good. I'd love to have that. Now, if you're wondering, by the way, how do you get your manpower back because you already have full employment? Well, there's a couple different ways to do it. If you are democratic France, you go down the review of foreign policy, and I think you have to confirm the Eastern commitments. Is that it? Hang on, let's take a look here. Manpower. There it is. Foreign guest workers. So I don't know if it... I don't think it has to be down the Eastern commitments, but either way, if you go down a democratic path, you can go to foreign guest workers, which basically means a visa system, and you have more immigration, and that solves the full employment issue. But what if you're not democratic? Well, then the only way to get rid of it is to go down the rights of man, the Bloom-Violet proposal, or however you call it, expand the citizenship, which gives you non-core manpower, and then encourage immigration. That's it. If you do not encourage immigration, you can go for France Indivisible, which gives you even more non-core manpower and compliance from all of your cores, which is nice. And then eventually you can try for the French Union. This would result in a vote for all of your colonial powers to ask, do you want to become actual cores of France and get the full benefit of factory and manpower? But some of them may say, you know what? No, we don't want to join France. And they become independent and you lose them. So, I don't know. That becomes kind of a difficult sell for me. Anarchist uprising in the Spanish Civil War. Yep, that is a thing. So now we have the anarchists, the non-aligned faction of anarchy, not communism, but non-aligned, rising up in Spain. These guys are going to be a pain, but they likely will lose because 99% of the time, well, not 99, but 9 times out of 10, nationalist Spain is going to end up winning the Civil War. All right, let's see. What else do we want to be doing right now? I'm going to go ahead and start researching the anti-tank. We absolutely will need this if we want to stand a chance against the tanks of Germany. I'm going to go ahead and remove some infantry here, toss on the artillery like so. Now, the question is, do I save up any more army experience, or do I go ahead and start training up an army again. I think we wait a little bit longer, and I'm going to try to improve my suppression using the cavalry. I'm not going to use these guys for anything else. They exist just to put down better garrisons. More suppression value per manpower. That's the best that I can hope for at the moment. All right? All right. How are we doing on that political power gain? It's terrible. Everything is awful. Everything is awful when you're playing as France. All right, so how are the anarchists doing? So they have death before surrender. You have to absolutely obliterate them before they give up, which is hilarious. Anarchist society, really fast factory construction speed, but you lose stability all the time. But I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think anarchists don't care about stability, I think is how this works. Ooh, weekly manpower plus 1,000. That's amazing. Yeah, I think that stability doesn't hurt them because they're anarchists. They don't have a government. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually true. I think that you do actually get affected by it, but there are options down the national focus tree, which I think offset a lot of those downsides, and it ends up being sort of okay. Anarchist Spain would be a very, very fun way to play the game. Let's go for the agricultural protectionism. I'm going to go ahead and get the extra construction speed for my cities. Let this go a little bit faster, and then we'll need to start working on some military factories. Dare I go for any more? Maybe one more, but yeah, then we need to go for the military factories as quick as we can. I want to make sure we have enough civilian factories that I'll be able to build forts very rapidly along the border of Germany. Oh gosh, hopefully that ends up working for me. All right, so we're going to have just enough army experience. Now, actually, wait, if I go for a little bit more than this, I will be able to get the anti-tank added into my divisions, but honestly, if I go for Avenge Waterloo and attack Belgium and the Netherlands, I think I'll get enough army experience anyway. So yeah, we're not going to worry about that too much at the beginning of the game. Let's go for... Honestly, we might want to go for excavation just so I can sell more resources for more civilian factories. Let's go ahead and do it. I don't usually go down excavation. It's a tech that I tend to ignore. But I've been watching some other people play the game, and that's something they seem to value quite a bit more than I do. So I'm thinking that maybe I've done something wrong? I don't know. We'll try for it and see exactly how well this goes. All right. Well, Germany, I hope you don't plan on attacking poor little old me anytime soon. Okay, let's go ahead and add on the cavalry. You're done. I actually don't need the recon here, I think. Does this affect suppression? It doesn't. Like, ideally, I'd like to actually get rid of that, because I don't want to use these guys as garrisons so long as they are going to cost me support equipment. That would make my garrisons just so much more expensive. By the way, note that we are now up to 80%, or about to be anyway, up to 80% compliance with all of these guys. So I think what this means... I've never tried this. Does this mean that I can now release the nation? I don't think so. Algeria is not a puppet of France, is not a collaboration government. I am not allowed to create collaboration governments, apparently. Okay, maybe that's something that democracies just can't do. Is that a thing? Democratic. Ah, yes, we cannot. Okay, if we were fascist, I'm pretty sure that we would be allowed to create collaboration governments. Now, collaboration governments are something you do where you spy on an enemy, right? And then you start building enough support amongst their government and the civilians that when you take over, you start with some level of collaboration so they don't resist you as much, which makes it easier for you to just control the newly conquered territory. Kind of important for places like, let's say, the German Reich. Let's suppose that they wanted to attack Poland, and they actually were spending a lot of time spying in Poland and then building up compliance so that when they attacked, they didn't have to worry about resistance right off the bat, or at least not as much, and they quickly control the area. Same with France. Then, since they're not spending as much manpower and equipment on garrisons, they can continue focusing on conquering all of Europe. Those are things that they can do, and they sound pretty fun. Sound pretty darn fun, actually. How much longer until the constitutional revision is up? We have to wait a few more months. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop training these guys and start building up an army because I want to make sure we are timing this correctly, and I think it is time. Now, because we only have one division in the field, I can only train up to 100,000 troops at the beginning of the game. So let's go ahead and train up 10 divisions. This is the most I'm allowed to do, 100,000 men. Can't spend any more than this until we have a lot more in the field. So let's go ahead and start rebuilding the proper French army in preparation for the glorious return of the Bonapartes. They will be so proud of me. Probably. Do I want to change up What do I want to change up? Do I want to go for things like the civilian economy and just get rid of it? I mean, it'd be great. Factory construction speed is not inconsequential. Because here's the thing, right? You could go for a political advisor like a war industrialist, and it increases your military factory construction speed by 10%. Oh, yay. You know what also does that? Just changing from civilian to early mobilization by 20%. Right? So, I mean, it's just like, this is just better. I do want to hold on to enough political power that when we attack, let's say, Belgium and the Netherlands, we can go up to partial mobilization right away instead. That would also be ideal because it saves me a lot, but still. Agricultural protectionism is done. Okay. We can't do this for a little bit longer, a couple more months. So do we ban communism or do we go for some investments? I think I'm going to go for the investments, and we're going to roll the dice and pray that the communists do not cause too much trouble. A poor decision, probably. I imagine those communists are not going to be taking kindly to what they're doing. They do have 27% control with the population, but still. All right, let's see. The anarchists are holding together okay, but it looks to me... Actually, this war is fairly a stalemate. Nationalist Spain should be winning a bit more by now. If they don't win quickly enough... Oh, gosh dang it. All right, we're just going to go ahead and embrace our common causes. Yes, that means I'm going to lose even more stability when I eventually have to ban them. I know, but it's better than losing 5%. And the support here actually doesn't matter, because once I get rid of communism support, it might result in more non-aligned than before. So, I mean, I guess it's okay. Anyway, yeah, usually by now Nationalist Spain's doing a lot better, and Republican Spain's kind of in a lot of trouble. Huh. Now, the worst possible thing that could happen for me is I end up fighting Germany, and then Nationalist Spain decides they want to attack. I'm going to be focusing all of my effort trying to defend against Germany in this game. I cannot afford to worry about Spain. So here's hoping that they don't become a problem. But the good news is, once they do finish, I'm pretty sure they have a nasty little national focus for a very long time, which means they're recovering. So it's not easy for them to just get involved right away. Not that it can't happen, as far as I'm aware, but it's not particularly likely. How are we doing on these on these civilian factories? We're looking pretty good. I'm going to let this one finish, and then we're going to go ahead and start building up our intelligence agency. Not because I think I need it right now, but because I want to show you guys exactly what is going to happen. So we're going to start building up the intelligence agency and working on espionage. Yes, espionage will be very helpful for me. Mainly because I think that's actually might be worth spying in like Brussels and try to prepare them to get ready for my invasion. Maybe. I don't know if that actually will work. You may need 2 spies in order to do a collaboration government. Probably. Oh, wait, I can't do collaboration governments anyway. What am I even talking about? There's no way for me to build up a lot of extra spies. Or, sorry, a lot of extra compliance right off the bat. Well, boo. It's fine. It's fine. All right, still building up that political power. It is September. We can go for metropolitan France, and then if I wait a little bit, we could go for the disjointed government and get rid of it. That is going to expire. Constitutional revision expires on October 7th if I wait a couple of weeks, but then I lose some progress. I'm going to go ahead and invest in Algeria and France, and we're going to try to get 8 civilian factories instead of 4. I'm going to be greedy and try for it. That's the thing. Like, you could spend a lot of time trying to build up a huge economy for France just by going down all of these, but you'll have, like, no military by the time that Germany comes a-knocking. So, I don't know exactly how to balance that. I just feel like I would die if I tried. Let's go for the research speed a little ahead of time, just because I think that may end up being worth it. We can modify the government. Do I want to go for the civilian factories? Or, sorry, the civilian economy. I would need 25% war support. I don't even have I can't do this. I don't even have the 15% that I would need. Gosh dang. All right, so maybe we go for the war industrialists so we can start working on the military factories a little bit faster. That is a thing we could do. Alternatively, if we go for things like technocrats, we get more civilian factory construction speed and 5% research speed, which is nice for tech. Or captain of industry, so that we can build up civilian factories even faster. But I think I'm going to go for the war industrialists and just try to start building up our military factories. It's going to take a while before I get the full benefit until I finish with these civilian factories, but I need a lot of them. I need so much military hardware to even stand the slightest feint of a chance against Germany, so we're going to try for it. These guys are almost trained. I could immediately deploy them and start training up some more right away, but I think we've got a little bit of time. I don't think I'm especially worried. It is almost 1938. Do I want to get these right now? I don't think I necessarily need to. We're not going to worry about doctrines. I don't even like Grand Battle Plan that much, though it is okay if you plan on using a lot of infantry for defense. That is pretty much all that Grand Battle Plan is good for. More excavation tech doesn't seem too useful. I'm going to go ahead and research and upgrade for our fighters with the hope that eventually we'll be able to build up a oh, gosh dang it. We'll be able to build up a reasonable Air Force to attack. All right, so the communists are now too strong. I need to get rid of these guys, and it's going to cost me a lot of stability to do so. But on the plus side, all those communists are going to be split up between Democrats and non-aligned, which hopefully will make me better. Hey, cool. We have an operative to recruit. All right, who do we want? Well, this guy is a seducer, which reduces the chance of him being detected. Also, he's better at infiltrating. He's tough, which means that if he gets captured, it's less likely that the enemy will be able to extract any intelligence from him, or at least not as quickly before he dies. We also have Georgie, I don't know, which is seducer, tough, and natural orator, which boosts ideology, mission effects, and also makes it easier to stage a coup. That's kind of fun. Counterintelligence, safecracker, captures ciphers and blueprints. Fun. A linguist, infiltrator. I think we have to go with Georgie. We're going to try for him. Let's see what he can do. So, all right, now we have a spy. We can build an intelligence network. So, for example, if I placed here in Brandenburg, he'll set up, and now he starts building intelligence in this entire area. As he builds up network strength, eventually we can go to our intelligence agency, and we'll be able to do some operations. However, we haven't built enough of an intelligence network for me to actually show you how that works. Other things we can do is we can build a quiet intel network, which basically means it doesn't build up at all, but it's much harder to detect. Once you get up to 100% and you don't plan on moving this guy around at all, it may be worth going to a quiet intel network just so you're less likely to get detected. We could boost ideology, which means over time, we are boosting our ideology in that nation, which is good for staging a coup eventually. However, I think it's very likely you get detected. We could do propaganda, which reduces their stability and war support over time, but again, I think it makes it very easy for them to get detected. Root out resistance is something we can do in friendly territory, so we reduce the amount of strength of a resistance group. Control trade. Now, this one I've never done before. It improves trade opinion, so we probably get better deals for our civilian factories. And then lastly, diplomatic pressure, which I don't know what this does, actually. Influence an AI-controlled nation to prefer your faction and non-aggression pacts. That would be interesting if you're trying to get other nations to join your factions, huh? Diplomatic pressure. So I imagine that's different than opinion. That's a whole separate mechanic, I guess. Also reduces world tension if you do this. Fascinating. And then, of course, you can just send them back home to do counterintelligence, try to catch other spies and stuff, if you want to. Here's the thing. We're not going to be worrying about it too much. Actually, I may... Yeah, I'll just leave you here in Germany. I don't think you can do me any good, really, here in Belgium anytime soon. Hey, look, troops! Guess what, Germany? I am no longer defenseless. Let's go ahead and train up another set of them. We don't have enough equipment for all of this. What are we missing? Support equipment! Of course we are. Yeah, so let's actually build this up. We need a lot of support equipment if I'm going to make this work. I always underestimate how much of this I'm going to need. So let's go ahead and start training that up if we can. All right, so I'm going to invest in Algeria and France and finish this. Then we're going to get rid of the disjointed government, and then we're going to ban the communists because they are getting too strong. They could actually become a real problem if we had any sort of a civil war. Which will totally not happen, right? Right? Pretty sure. I'm not worried about any of this right now. Do I want to go for more excavation tech? I could go for better radar, and I do like having really good radar. It makes a difference. Let's go ahead and upgrade this. I don't need it right away. But eventually I'm going to want it, and I'm ahead of time on everything else that I care about at the moment, so I don't need to go further ahead of time. We can just live with what we've got for the moment. Should be fine. All right, so at least we're not outrageously behind in support equipment, but it's going to be very difficult for me to deploy these troops if I don't get some more factories going pretty quick. Got a lot coming through here, by the way, so at least we're up to, what is it, 57 civilian factories. We're getting 10 from trade right now, which is excellent. Yeah, go ahead. Trade all sorts of stuff. Trade all the steel. I'm thrilled about that. Thank you, Finland, Estonia, Turkey, Yugoslavia, and Spain, Republican Spain, who is still alive? That's amazing. They might even get an encirclement and kill some nationalist Spain. If they win, that's great, as long as they stay democratic. All right, now is the time to... Come on. Get over here and repeal the law of exile. All right, no more disjointed government. We believe in monarchies again. And that solves the problem. Everyone who's all like, oh, we can't decide what to do because there are too many people who are trying to have a say in the things. They're going to be like, no! We're going to have one person in charge, and that person shall be glorious. We should go ahead and actually like set up some field marshals and stuff, by the way. What do we want? Max entrenchment is very good. I think all of our generals start with entrenchment, which is good, I guess. Defense and logistics, max entrenchment. Okay, that's it. Defense, logistics, blah, blah, blah. What we're going to want probably at the beginning of the game is going to be someone with really good defense and this entrenchment, and that is Maxime Wagen. So we're going to go ahead and put you in charge. Could go for a trait already. Charismatic for recovery rate could be good. Unyielding defender, 10% extra defense though. That's also really good. But charismatic works for both offense and defense. But defense though. We're going to go for charismatic. Let's just go ahead and do it. I think it's good. And as far as a general over here, somebody defensively based would be probably good. Charles de Gaulle? Maybe. Let's put Rene Ulri in charge. Max entrenchment value with you should be fine. You, actually, should change to the latest template as well. Let's make sure we're doing that. There we go. Gosh dang you communists! Too many of them. I wasn't planning on this. Every test game, I haven't had this much freaking communist support. It's ridiculous. All right, there goes devalue of the franc, which means my stability goes up a little bit. Yeah, my other test games, I had one communist event for most of them, and I think in one of my test games I had 2. I've never had 4. This means it's going to really hurt my stability when I finally ban the communists. 10%? Ow! Ow! On the plus side, though, let's see. Current ruling party popularity is pretty low. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll result in more stability a little bit. It's somewhat offset is what I'm trying to say. Frickin' communists. All right, well, we'll give it a go. The good news is I don't think these guys are going to start any sort of civil war over it, so that's nice. Sure, I will enjoy selling my bombers so that Yugoslavia can get a new plane and I get consumer goods reduction for a little while. That just means more factories for me. Thank you very much. All right, so we're finally starting to get military factories in. Good. It's about dang time. Need a lot more support equipment. And then artillery. Lots of everything, actually, would be good. We're building up some convoys. I should make sure we are building up some new ships. Germany does tend to focus a lot on getting submarines. If I get a 1936 destroyer hull, you do not have sonar. You haven't researched any of that. I could get my own subs, I suppose. Start building up some subs, and I'll start building up some destroyers, I think. Just some basics. Let's just go ahead and have those placed. Just because when the time comes, I want them. Done deal. All right, so let's take a look at our intelligence network. So we're up to 36% right here in Brandenburg. If I go over to our intelligence agency now, look at this. You can see that there are a lot of different operations we can do. We can infiltrate their civilian administration, which unlocks different operations, such as stealing industrial blueprints. Yes, we can get, I think it's a 150 or maybe 200% research bonus for some technology that Germany has that I do not. Don't know what it's going to be, so it could be good, it could be bad. Infiltrate the armory. We can steal military blueprints. So instead of industrial blueprints, we get something military related. Navy, Air Force, basically just good if you want to steal things, which can be nice if your opponent has much better tech than you. Orchestrate a coup. Now this one takes a lot to prepare, and I don't think that we're going to do it because, I mean, they don't have any non-aligned or democratic to speak of, so if we don't build up a lot more ideology, it's just going to be a failed coup, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then we have coordinated strike. To achieve victory over the German Reich, we must strike a crushing blow. If we move our assets in place, we can ensure that this one blow strikes where it can do the most damage. Never done this, but it takes 70% intelligence network for this to work. Also note that for all of these, you need 2 operatives in order to do any of these. So we can't do anything at this stage of the game anyway. How do we get more operatives? Couple of different things. One, there is an advisor right here called the Elusive Gentleman, which gives you extra operative slots. Also, if we are a part of a faction and have a really good intelligence agency, we can become the Spy Master if we have at least 3 different branch upgrades, which I think gives us 1 more spy per member of the faction, which is really good in the Allies because the United Kingdom actually has all these puppets, and they count. So we get like 8 more operatives if we become a spy master for the allies. So that's a fun thing. Otherwise, you just have to build improvements to your agency, and you'll get more automatically. What kind of upgrades am I talking about? If we go over here, look at this. We can spend civilian factories for a short time in order to create a whole bunch of different upgrades, such as civilian intelligence gathers up faster, and we're more likely to win at some of those civilian-type operations. Army Department, Naval, Air Force, passive defense. So even without an agent sitting in our capital and trying to catch spies, we have some level of counterintelligence and we can catch people. This is pretty good. Anti-partisan, we're better at rooting out resistance. That can be helpful, actually, since we're about to conquer some land. Stealing blueprints, portable radios for the coordinated strike, invisible ink, plastic explosives for sabotage and strengthening the resistance. Suicide pills is very important. If our operative gets captured, we have to operate. We have to use a rescue operation. And if we don't, then there's a good chance they just steal intelligence about us and eventually kill the guy anyway. So this just makes it less likely that our guys will get detected. If they die, it's fine. We'll just recruit a new one. Localized training centers, enemy nationality recruitment chance, commando training. Don't know what this does. Chance of getting the commando trait, which I guess is good for resistance, probably. Interrogation techniques, more likely to capture enemy operatives and extract intelligence from them. Diplomatic training, good for diplomatic pressure and trade missions, which we're probably never going to use. Psychological warfare, good for building up propaganda and trying to reduce their stability and war support. This could actually be very good. And then finally, cryptology. So you may have noticed in our research down over here, there's no longer encryption and decryption over here. What happened to them, I wonder? They all got moved. They're now down over here in the cryptology department. You form a department, and it gives you some level of cryptology level and also decryption power. What this means is we can choose a country, and after a very long period of time, we can crack their code. Their cracked code can be used to give you a 30-day huge bonus in breakthrough and other planning bonuses and so on. You just start outmaneuvering them and get a lot of extra combat bonuses. But then once that is done for 30 days, then it goes away and they start working on a new code, and it takes a long time to build that back up. Having more cryptology strength makes it take longer for them to break your code, and having more decryption makes it faster for you to break their code. So a good code breaking at the right time can make a massive difference in a war, as the British will happily tell you. By the way, it looks to me like the Republican Spain is about to lose. Surprisingly, the anarchists are still alive. No sign of the Carlists, though. Probably because they did something here to try it. Well, let's see. They went down the Carlism route. I mean, I think this is preventing the Carlists from rising up as another member of the Civil War. But it's also giving them a lot of non-aligned. They may be a nationalist Spain who's not actually very nationalistic. Yeah, fuse the parties is what they're working on right now. Interesting. I'm not super familiar with the Spanish, what am I trying to say? National Focus Tree. There we go. I'm not super familiar with it. I've watched some of the dev diaries and stuff, or some of the devs playing it, but yeah, there's a lot more going on there. A lot more going on. Repealing the law of exile. Finally, we'll get some more political power. Thank you. And hey, look, we actually got some more support. Well, I may want to go for early mobilization. Do I want to do that? Or do we want to go down some early aggression? I know I want to ban communism. I'm going to lose 10 stability, but we have to get rid of this stupid event. It's starting to hurt. This would speed up my military factory production by a lot. It cost me a lot of political power to do this, when I could go to partial later. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to bite the bullet, and I'm going to do it. I know. Oh, wait. Political violence is gone? What just happened? We can't do this anymore because we don't have political violence. All right, I guess the communists decided to play nice. All right, cool. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and proclaim the Third Empire and start moving right away to avenge Waterloo, because one way of getting a lot of factories is just conquering it. So let's start preparing for that. We almost have some more troops ready to go. Japan and Italy have abandoned the naval treaty. Okay. That is honestly fine. Still lacking in the support equipment, so that sucks. Gosh dang, we need so much of this stuff. It produces so slowly at the beginning of the game, too. We don't even have very much efficiency. Yeah, well, we have enough that we can beat Brussels pretty much as is. I would like to get some offensive units. That would be ideal. All right, so these guys can't deploy until we get a little bit more support equipment, which I'm working on right now. Let's make this the top priority. Then we're going to go ahead and start training up a bunch of offensive units. Let's go for 12 to start for now. But we'll need a lot more before Germany decides they want to get involved in things against me. Let's go ahead and set up another front line right over here. We got a little bit of time. I mean, we got until, what, 1939 before the Germans plan on attacking me? I got like a year and a half. It's fine. Who's worried about it? Decimetric radar. Sweet. Let's go ahead and work on some soft attack and breakthrough upgrades for our units. Go ahead and move you guys over here for now. I guess that's fine. Proclaim the Third Empire. Yes. Yes. I definitely want to conquer Belgium and the Netherlands ASAP. You move over here. We'll be up to 21 units. We're not even at half the strength that we had before, but they are better units than we had before. So I guess that's going to have to do. I'm going to switch you over to Charles de Gaulle for now. Charles de Gaulle actually has really good attack value, so we can use that to more easily win these wars, which I think makes a lot of sense. Oh, gosh dang, I just realized we are out of time for this. All right. Well, I'm a little concerned about this nonsense, but if we get the opportunity to ban communism, I probably should, because I really wasn't counting on this being as bad as it is. Even so, though, maybe we'll be fine. We're going to go for Proclaim the Third Empire. We're going to go for Avenge Waterloo. We're going to conquer Belgium and the Netherlands, get their factories going for us, start building up some compliance, and then we are going to start working down the industrial expansion, get all those civilian factories, go for the research slot, go for the rearmament, go for the manpower by going for the rights of man. There is so much that we need to do before Germany attacks. It's not even funny, but I know that I need those civilian factories if I want to even have a chance of building up enough forts to actually resist them. So that's not an option. We got to make it work. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.
All right, let's go ahead and do it.